curious kind of how you're thinking, when you think about the way that you put out content and the way that you think about growing your media empire. I don't know what book this is from.
Genderqueer.
Okay.
So,
but I have no idea.
It has been.
Okay.
I posted about it, yeah.
So tell me a little bit
about...
So
should it be in elementary schools?
I have no idea the context. I have no idea.
So in what context is it okay if it would be in elementary schools?
Absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I would not, I don't know, Kaya, because I haven't seen the rest of that book. I don't know what's in there. I don't know the context.
But there is a context that it would be okay to give kids pictures like that in elementary school?
I guess sex pictures in school, I don't know. Because you know who I would defer to on that? Just because neither of us are sex educators, I would defer that question to a qualified professional, a sex educator, and say, hey, you're an expert. You've treated you've educated tons of people.
Deep down, they have been basically put into a cult. So we should all know by now that when we're dealing with these liberal reporters and these Democrat news people, nobody other than them plays the victim quite like that, right? Nobody plays the victim that well. Nobody lies so flippantly about such serious cultural issues, particularly those ones surrounding children, quite like they do. And nobody's a better example of that than Taylor Lorenz, who was infamous for crying about how the Libs of TikTok page harassed her, even though Taylor went to the homes of the Libs of TikTok account runner, the family members' homes, to harass them and to ask questions. And then when it got turned around on her, did the fake crying interview that was so infamous with her amazing screenshots. Great work by the internet community on that one. But even more recently than that, Taylor Lorenz. Now keep in mind when you watch this video, it's 2024. And tell me what you notice. Or just say, I'm sure I'm going to cut in and tell you what I noticed. But it's glaring, the ideological differences that these people have. And then the delusion that they live in to continue to push these lies and their inability to shift away from their ideology based upon what the facts are. Taylor actually got confronted about her stance on combating people who want inappropriate graphic in the sexual nature reading materials from elementary schools and high schools. Now I've gotten into arguments before with people in comment sections about like, oh, what do you think high school kids are doing? I'm like, regardless if it's only in high schools, which we know it isn't, it's in elementary schools as well. But if it was only in high schools kids are still underage. We need to keep that in mind. Every time when we were in high school, you and I, when we were in high school and we, went into the cornfields, so to speak, we were doing that technically illegally. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on like 14, 15, and 16-year-olds typing in, boobs.com and succeeding, or, Google image searching stuff, or, snatching, magazines from the local convenience store. But it was still not legal for us to have that in our possession because we were underage. So this whole like, yeah, but they're doing it anyway, that doesn't mean that as adults we just then present it to them, because look at it this way. There are people right now that are 16, 15 years old that are engaging in actual, intercourse, right? That doesn't mean that, well, if they're doing it anyway, then adults should just do it with them too. No, that's still illegal. We still have standards. Most of the time anyway, they like to play these like little mind games with people where they go, oh, really these books exist? Tell me what it says on page 3. Or, like these ridiculous, like they think they got you type of things. Where it's like, all I need to do is like watch the footage of these parent-teacher interviews at these board or the parent school board meetings where they admit that the book's in the school and they read excerpts from the book. That's all I need to make an educated decision. I don't need to go on Amazon and buy these disgusting books like Gender Queer or All Boys Are Blue or whatever the other one is called and read it just so I can be like, well, the author's name is so-and-so. When someone goes, oh yeah, what's the author's name? What's the author's name? See, you don't even know what you're talking about. Turns out I know what I'm talking about. People that are against these books know what they're talking about. And these liberal reporters are the ones that are pretending to know who don't actually know anything. And Taylor Lorenz is one of those people, and it gets exposed brilliantly.
I don't think it's a problem. I guess I don't see as much. If I saw an example of a child being sexualized, of course I have a problem with, certain things. I will actually, I will say.
So do you think we should give kids porn in school? The images of like gay sex?
I went to public school, and in public school, at least when I was growing up, we were absolutely given literature, explaining sex, educating people.
Did you notice it? Are we noticing it? It's 2024, guys. It's 2024, and this is the type of people with that mental capacity are trying to tell us that they know better than us when they can't even get the basics of current facts right. So let's just. And here's the other thing. You heard what she just said, where she's like, I went to public school and they gave us stuff explaining. Yeah, they gave you stuff that went, this is what this body part is. This is what this body part is. This is how the baby is made because this thing goes with this thing. And then when it fertilizes, that is not the same thing as what these books are saying is in them. And that is the problem. They conflate all these things together where it's like, we learned about that. It's like, yeah, but we also didn't have books that had a guy, underage characters, by the way, just throwing that out there. A guy and another guy, and one of the other guys puts the other guy's thingy in his mouth and talking about how good it feels that it's in his mouth. That isn't sex ed. It's not. That's not what that is. That is playing in the cornfields, as they say. So, let's see what else. Let's see how else old Masky McGee over here has to say. What an idiot. I can't believe she's wearing this.
Oh, absolutely. And it actually talked about condom use.
What grade?
God, I don't remember, but certainly probably middle school. I think that's when we had sex ed.
So you think like books like Gender Queer, This Book is Gay, we should give that to kids in school?
I have not read those books, so I don't know. But I do think that it's important to educate kids about sexuality, if nothing else, because...
I just noticed something else. She's wearing the shirt with that screenshot that I was talking about earlier. What a genius. What a genius. I can't believe... I wonder if Taylor even noticed it with her freaking Pfizer eyes.
One thing that they've told me is that they wish that they had the language to talk about it, and they weren't educated. They grew up in I only know two that I've spoken to about this, but they've grown up in sort of societies where they weren't very educated about sex ed. They didn't receive sex ed in class. They went to a Catholic school or other types of schooling.
I'm going to debunk something right now. I went to Catholic school, and in grade 6, we were given these books. It was called Fully Alive. And in those books, it had the scientific explanations for basically where babies come from and things that we should expect in going through puberty and stuff like that, like underarm hair and, the hair down there. It wasn't talking about things that it didn't need to talk about. It talked about the science behind it, which is ironic that the Catholic school, of all places, focused on the science part of things, while these public schools who are like bowing, Taylor, look at her. She believes in the science, clearly. Focus on like this depraved, fetishy type stuff that happens. The extra stuff, the stuff that has nothing to do with where the babies come from. Oh, we talked about condom use. Yeah. Like, yeah, you put that on there. That's a thing too. That's but it's not the same thing as I can't even say it. You know what I was gonna say? Oh Jesus, I forgot I wasn't on Rumble there for a second. Anyway, yeah, let's talk. Let's see what the science believer wants to say as she continues to definitely not make up stuff.
And so I do think it's really important for kids to understand sex because, as we all know, a lot of teenagers can be sexually active, and I think sex education is important to promote, healthy attitudes, healthy understandings of sex. I mean, these are human bodies. You can't just expect to send kids off at 18 with absolutely no sex ed and then think that they can function in the world.
So we should give kids pictures in middle school and actually elementary school, some of them.
I guess I'm wondering what you consider that. I think.
Do you want to see a picture?
Well, I don't know, but are you talking about the ones that you've posted on your Twitter account? Yeah. I guess those don't look like what I received when I did sex ed, but I think sex ed is important because it actually helps. So
you didn't have those types of things when you were in school?
Oh no, we had sex ed.
Do you see how she keeps shifting the argument? No, we had sex ed. That's not what we're arguing. But this is what these people do. And it's like, it's crazy to me because I don't think, I really don't. I really don't think that these people are all like perverted, files, Like, I don't think that they're all those things. I just think that they're so brain dead. They're such brain dead morons. They're so committed to the ideology because deep down, they have been basically put into a cult. That's what it is. That's what Taylor Lorenz is doing right now. She's got the big mask on in 2024, and she's just mumbling and bumbling, making sure that she deflects away from what's actually being talked about, and just keeps spitting these lines out that have nothing to do with what's actually being discussed because she can't say a negative thing about this topic because you can't say anything negative about the cult. And they'll say that Republicans and right-wingers are in a cult, and certainly some of them do also behave like this in different topics. But I defy you to find anyone online who is like a liberal, who has like flags in their bio and the hashtag resistance and all that. I defy you to find anyone with those things that will just flat out say it's wrong that these kids have access to this and it shouldn't happen. Not a single one will ever say it. Both sides got the cult. The left is way more of one, period. There's way more members of that one. You'll find people on the right that are considered on the right that will talk about things outside of what they're supposed to say. Way more often. It's not even deniable at this point. And this is the perfect example of it. She's like a caricature of what people mock about this side. But they're all like this. They're all like it. Joyanne Reid is like this. Taylor Lorenz is like this. They're all the same in that way because when you're in a cult, the one thing you're never allowed to do is talk negatively about anything surrounding the cult. It would be great if I was a cult leader, and I would love to be your cult leader. So please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button on this video and help push it out with the algorithms, and leave a comment in the comment section below what you think of this topic. There's a much larger interview. You guys can find it on there. I just wanted to cover the basics here of Taylor Lorenz being the absolute cartoon character come to life that she is. And I will see you guys with the next video next time.